Hello, my crafty friends. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Maria Robinson, Stamping Simply with Maria. So today's card tutorial was actually inspired by a sketch that I saw recently online. And I said, ooh, that looks like an easy card, so let's create it. So let me show you my sample, my not so pretty sample. So, but I have all my instructions all on the back here, and I've already got most of the pieces cut. So let's get started. As I mentioned, I saw a sketch online and I wanted to recreate it. So I basically used retired DSP and cardstock to create it. That's what I try to do when I see things that I'm not sure about, is I'll create it with, stuff that I don't really care about and maybe I have too much of. So what I do is, and this isn't even like a full card, it's just a card front, and then on the back side is where I put all my instructions, being my measurements and whatnot. So something good for you to also do. So this is my actual card. Isn't it adorable? And I use the, I think it's called Party Celebrations. Celebration Expressions, Memories and More card pack. And this comes with 54 cards. They're already pre-cut and they're two different sizes. They have a 4x6 and then, not sure what size this is though. Let's measure it. All right, so this one is 4 inches by 3 inches. So you can cut these out any way you want. They're double-sided. They're really adorable. And you know, I kind of forget about these. I got these at Onstage last year, and although I've used it, but not too much. So I saw that. I was looking for DSP, and I was like, oh, these are cute. Makes it very easy to use. Okay, so we're going to put this aside, and I am going to show you some new products that we're going to be getting soon. Delicate Whispers is one of them. This is an online exclusive, which will become available to everyone beginning March 2nd or 3rd. So definitely check that out. It's really pretty, and it also has coordinating dies. Now, as you saw in one of my shorts, what I do is when I get my stamps and dies, I put them all in one packaging. It makes it so much easier. So I kind of do like the new packaging. Plus, I can get more on a shelf because it's very thin. So the other one that I used on my sample card was Cutest Crew. Is this not adorable? Those little kitties and the doggies totally spoke to me. And it also comes with some dies to die cut them out. So that's what I did use for this pretty card. And then did I stamp the inside? Yes, I did. I put some cute little paws on the inside. They could be cat or dog paws. Okay, so one way to get this product now, if you're interested, is to join my team. And when you join my team during the month of February through March 2nd, you can actually purchase this in your starter kit when you choose $125 worth of product, and you'll get the new stamp and positioner. So how cool is that? If you're interested, please reach out to me and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. All right, the other product that I used on this sample card was the Stylish Shape Dies. Now you could also use these if you happen to have them for the card that I'm making today, but I opted to just use my trimmer for this because some people don't have all this stuff like I have. Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and, you know, like all these dies. But these are definitely an option. So as you could see, I did use the circles for this one. All right, so let me move this stuff out of the way. As I said, if you're interested in joining my team, $99, you get to choose $125 worth of product, plus you get that new stamp and positioner for free. And you also get free shipping. So, all right, let's get started. I'll put this here for reference. Right about there is good. Okay. Let's see, so I have most of my pieces done. I am going to, I cut out the center of the white cardstock, which I've already adhered to the front, and those are 2 squares, which measure, what do they measure? 1.5 by 1.5, I think. no, 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. I need to cut this piece at 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. So I need 2 squares. So we're going to cut this at 1 1/2, and then I'll cut it in half again. So, well, let's go this way. We'll actually save paper this way. Yeah. So 1 1/2 inches, because this is 3 inches. That's why I spun it around. I figured I'd save a little more DSP that way, and I can use that for another card. And then we'll cut this in half at 1 1/2 inches as well. So right here. Okay. All right. So that is that. Then I need to cut this piece down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So I'm going to cut it 5 inches first, and then we'll do 3 3/4. That's a scrap for another card, and then 3 3/4 inches. All right, that's scrap. It's too small. All right, so let's put this aside and let us, I'm going to adhere this. You know, let's do our stamping first. How about that? Okay, so I am going to use, as I mentioned, Delicate Whispers, and I've got all my parts, my cardstock and everything already set up. My stamps, not my cardstock, my stamps. So let me get a piece of scrap paper. Is this all I have? I'll use that because that's slippery. Here, let's use this piece. We'll just fold this in half. All right. So first I'm going to stamp my flower and my leaves. Now, obviously, this image is so much larger than this little square here. That's 1 3/8 by 1 3/8, and I've got 2 of those. So I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And this will, I will stamp this on here. Now, it will stamp off the paper, the cardstock piece, my square, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to try to get as much as I can on here so that you can actually see what it is, right? All right, so we're just going to stamp that right there. Perfect. When I put this in my chamois so that I can clean that off quick, okay? And then we're going to stamp our flower, and I think this does, no, this doesn't fit there either, the whole thing. So let me see how we're going to do this. So we're going to do that. I think we're going to let that go like that. So I wanted this one to go like this, which I guess it really doesn't matter. We can always spin it around, right? So let's just do that. And perfect. Clean that quick. And we're done with the Tuxedo Black, I believe, and yes. Okay, so I figured I'd do all my stamping all at once rather than doing it in piecemeal. Okay, so now I have my sentiment, which says, "Hello, friend," and we're going to use Berry Burst, which matches my cardstock beautifully. So I am going to come right about here. I am going to trim this down though, so I'll come right about there. Perfect. And I'll close this one up so we don't stick our fingers or anything else in there. And then I'm going to do the flower in Pretty in Pink. So we're going to do a little flower here. Okay, and another one on this other side over here. Perfect. And we'll clean that off. And our stamping is done. And I do have some stamping for the inside, but I've already stamped that, so I don't need that. All right, now let me see what size this piece was supposed to be. 3 1/8. Let's see if I stamp too much. It's not. It's going to be too big. 3 1/8 is here. Actually, that's not bad. All right, perfect. So I didn't do too bad. Okay, good. So 3 1/8. That's scrap. And then I'm going to cut this down to, let's make sure that this piece is 5/8 of an inch. So 1/2, 5/8, and it is. Look at that. Maybe I did cut that down. Now this cardstock, colored cardstock, is going to be what size? 3/4 by 3 1/4. So 3/4 of an inch. Cut that right there. By 3 1/4. Okay. I think we are done with the trimmer, but I'll keep it aside just in case I need it again. All right. All right, let's start putting this together. So make sure those fit there. They do. Okay. Let me get my tweezers. I've been using my tweezers more and more to pick up these little pieces because I tend to have trouble with them. They kind of slide around on me, partly because my nail polish, I guess. Somebody actually told me that once. It's because of the gel polish. It's too thick, so it's hard to pick up pieces. But I also think because of my tremors, it makes it difficult as well. So I got a double whammy apparently. So why not use the tweezers since I have them, right? And we'll drop that right there in the center. All right. Oh my goodness, there's something stuck on these tweezers. There we go. Okay, then we'll do the same thing with this piece. All right, so let's put the DSP down on the front, the card front. There we go. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you've endured the extreme cold if you're, actually I think, I was going to say the Northeast, but I think most of the United States has had experienced it. So hopefully we're out of it. Although living in New York, I don't think we're out of it yet. So anyway, we deal with it, right? All right, so then I have this piece here, which I think measures 2 inches by 4 3/4. I will have the PDF available on Wednesday with all the measurements and the product that I use. So if you'd like to place an order, you can also click on that QR code, which will bring you right to my ordering page, and you can order everything or whatever it is that you need, or you can look around and see if there's anything else that you might like. So let's see, I think I'll put the flower. I think I'll put the flower first. All right, so we're gonna put the flower down first, just adding some glue. Let's see, I think I want it to go this way. I'm just going to center that left to right. You know what I should have done? I should have checked the spacing between these two pieces and then this piece here, right? So I think I want to move these all down a little bit. If I can, just a little. Okay, good. And then we'll add these pieces. You can also add these with dimensionals, but I'm going to put dimensionals on the greeting. And I think that'll be just fine. All right, so let's close this up. What am I looking for? Dimensionals. I just said that. I just said I was looking for dimensionals. So let's put a few here. I think 3 should be good. 2, 3. And then I will show you what I'm doing on the inside, which is kind of cool. I don't think I've ever done it before, but we'll see. I think it's kind of cool. I always like the look of it. So we'll see. All right, so what am I talking about? Okay, let's open that up. So I stamped, oh goodness, if I could pick this up. Hope you feel your best soon. So I'm actually giving this to a friend who recently had surgery, and I think she would appreciate that. So what I did though is I stamped it on my card base, my cardstock, my white card base. And what I did is I cut out a bunch of these. So I stamped it also in pink, pretty in pink, and then in Berry Burst. And I've already cut out a few of them ahead of time. So I've got a bunch of these. So I'm going to pick out a few and we'll adhere them over those words. And then I have a few more if I want to use them another time. All right, so let's adhere this first. I'm using the other side because I did goof. You could see that the R, the T, and the N did not come out completely, so I stamped it on the other side. And we got a better image. So let's just add some glue to this. And then I will use my tweezers to pick up those other pieces and add some adhesive. And I just think that adds a little bit of punch to it, a little wow. You know what I forgot to do? Oh, we can do that afterwards. I'm going to do that right now while I'm thinking about it. I wanted to put a couple of flowers in the corner of this piece. So I'm going to actually, let's do Pretty in Pink first because it's the lighter color. And I can just use that same one. Got a little halo there for the Berry Burst. What I meant was I didn't need to clean it. Got this little frog in my throat. I can't get rid of it. I guess it's the dryness, right? Okay, so let's take a few of these. So I'm going to decide which ones I want to use. I think I want to use the Hope and put it here. So I'm going to put Hope here. And I'm just going to place them there just to see how I like them first. Then we'll do Feel and Pretty in Pink. And then we'll do Best or Soon. I think I'm going to do Soon. We'll do Soon. Okay, so let's do that. Put that right on the edge. Let me get my silicone craft mat out. And I'm going to put that aside since I don't need any more pieces. And we'll just add a little bit of glue. Actually, you know what? I think the easier thing for me to do is add the glue on here. Right? Then I can put this down. Be much easier. And it's okay if it's a little crooked. Just gives it a different look. So we're just going to keep adding glue. And I think, like I said, I think this makes it much easier to add it to the bigger part than to try to struggle with the smaller piece. Right? I think so. And then we can slide that around a little bit. I think I should have cut that just a little bit more. But I think they'll get the idea. And then we'll do hope. Put that right over here and there. Okay. So we are done with the glue. So what do you think? Do you like that look? I think it looks kind of cool, right? I don't know. Different. All right, let's add some gems. I'm using the Charming Faceted Gems. And they are in Petal Pink, Berry Burst, and Misty Moonlight. So let's see, I'm going to do the Berry Burst, I think. I haven't used those, or the Misty Moonlight. So I think this one is perfect for that. So we'll just grab a few of these larger ones. I believe they're still available. And we'll put another one down here. I think that looks great. Don't want to overdo it. All right, so let's do that. So what do you think? Pretty cool, right? Super easy, super simple. Try it out. You know, look online and look for sketches. And then you can just practice on like old cardstock, old DSP, till you get it right. And you could definitely change it up just like I did. I used squares on the card we created today. My sample is also squares, and then I also did the circles using the stylish shape dies. So friends, thanks so much again for watching, for liking and commenting and sharing my video with your crafty friends. I really appreciate that. And like I said, if you're interested in the promotion that we have going on, please reach out to me. And I'd be more than happy to talk with you and let you know, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. All right, friends, till next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.